Today, you are going to hear the inspiring story of a poor English learner who became fluent. He stood in the middle of the classroom, eyes lowered, hands trembling. "Speak in English," the teacher said again. But all he could do was stare at the floor. The class laughed. Some whispered, "He'll never make it." That day, something broke inside him. But something else started to grow. You're watching Tales Sink, where English meets real stories. Learn the language, feel the emotion, and grow with every tale. Here we go. Part 1. The Beginning. A boy from the village. His name was Ravi. Born in a small village in India where buffaloes outnumbered books, Ravi's world was simple. Mud walls, dusty roads, one government school, and a radio that barely worked. English? It was like magic from another planet. In his school, teachers themselves were afraid to speak English. The textbooks were written in English, yes, but classes were taught in the local language. To most students, English was just something to memorize for exams, not to understand. But Ravi was different. He didn't want to pass English. He wanted to speak it. He didn't know why, but he felt that mastering English would open a door to confidence, to respect, maybe even to a better life. Still, wanting isn't enough. Part 2. The struggle. Laughed at, left behind. Ravi tried. He really did. He copied English words from his textbook into a separate notebook. He underlined them, repeated them aloud. He would look in a mirror and say things like, "My name is Ravi. I am from. He could never finish the sentence. The moment he had to speak in class, his tongue froze. Other kids would giggle. Some mimicked his broken English. "My name is Ravi," they mocked. Even his relatives made fun of him. "Learn farming," they said. "What will English do for you? Grow rice." But deep inside, he made a silent promise to himself. "Someday I will speak so well that people will stop and listen." Part 3. The Turning Point, Meeting the Mentor. It was a Sunday. Ravi had gone to the town's public library, a place he had never entered before. It smelled of old pages and quiet dreams. There he met a man, an older student, college-going, sitting in the corner reading The Alchemist in English. Ravi was stunned. "Can you really read all that?" he asked. The boy smiled, "Yes. I also struggled once." That was the first time Ravi heard someone say, "I struggled too," instead of "You're not smart enough." That boy, Aman, became Ravi's first mentor. He didn't teach grammar rules. He gave Ravi a habit. Read one page every day, write one paragraph, and speak out loud, even if it's just to yourself. It sounded simple, but for Ravi, it was revolutionary. Part 4. The Daily Grind, Building the Habit. Every morning, Ravi woke up an hour early. He took his father's old newspaper, even if he didn't understand a word. He wrote down headlines, Googled meanings using an old phone his cousin had given him. There was barely any internet, but he managed. In the evenings, he would find a quiet spot behind the cow shed and speak to the wall. "I am happy today because I learned English." The wall never judged him. It just listened. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. And one day, something strange happened. In class, when a teacher asked, "What is your dream?" Ravi stood up and said, "My dream is to speak English fluently and help others." The class was silent, not because it was perfect, but because he actually spoke. And something changed that day. Part 5. A seed grows. Confidence in small wins. After that day, Ravi wasn't the best English speaker in school, but he was no longer invisible. Teachers noticed him. A few even encouraged him. More importantly, Ravi noticed himself. He saw the progress, not in perfect grammar, but in courage. He started reading small storybooks, fairy tales, The Fox and the Grapes, The Honest Woodcutter, simple English, big impact. He spoke to animals, to trees, even to a broken mirror. It didn't matter who listened. He was no longer afraid of making mistakes. He understood something many never do. Fluency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Part 6. The digital door opens. One day, while helping a local shopkeeper, Ravi noticed a customer watching videos on YouTube, English learning shorts. Something clicked in Ravi's mind. That night, he borrowed his cousin's phone and searched. How to speak English fluently. English for beginners. Daily use English sentences. A new world opened. He discovered people just like him, from villages, small towns, other countries, all learning, all growing. That's when he found Tales Sync. Short, story-based videos. Not just teaching rules, but real emotion. Ravi started watching one video every morning and one every night. He repeated after each sentence, paused, rewound, spoke aloud. Some days, his family laughed. You're talking to your phone again? But Ravi smiled. He was no longer learning for marks. He was learning to live differently. Part 7. Setbacks. Shadows return. But the path wasn't straight. During his final school exams, Ravi failed English. Yes, after months of effort. He was devastated. He didn't leave his room for 2 days. He stared at the wall he once practiced in front of and felt like a fraud. Maybe they were right, he thought. Maybe I'll never speak well enough. That night, he rewatched a Tales Sync story about a man who failed 3 times before mastering English. At the end of that video, the narrator said, "Failure is not your enemy. Quitting is." Ravi didn't sleep that night. He picked up his notebook and wrote, I failed the exam, but I won't fail myself. Part 8. The Big Leap. Joining a spoken English group. Months later, Ravi got a job as a delivery boy in the nearby city. It wasn't much, but it gave him 2 things. Access to a public library. Internet data. He joined a free English-speaking group that met every Sunday in a park. People of all ages came. Housewives, students, even retired officers. At first, Ravi just listened. Then he introduced himself. Hello, my name is Ravi. I want to learn English because I want to change my life. They clapped. It was the first time strangers encouraged him. Every Sunday, he spoke a little more. He made mistakes, laughed at himself, and every time, he learned something new, a phrase, a tone, a better word. His English wasn't just improving. His mindset was transforming. Part 9. Sharing to learn, becoming a mentor. One day, a boy in the group, younger than Ravi, said, Bia, how did you get so confident? Ravi laughed. Confident? Him? But then he realized he was confident, not because he knew everything, but because he was no longer ashamed of trying. So he started a blog, writing simple English lessons. He recorded short videos using his delivery boy phone, sharing tips like how I remember new words, why you must speak to yourself, daily English with confidence. He got 50 views, then 100, then 300. A stranger commented, You explained it better than my teacher. Ravi cried that night, not from sadness, but from validation. He had gone from mock student to mini mentor. Part 10. from learning to leading, the shift. Ravi started to see English not just as a subject, but as a bridge between people, between silence and self-expression, between who he was and who he wanted to become. He still made mistakes, verbs, pronunciation, even spelling. But he had learned one powerful lesson. It's not about impressing others. It's about expressing yourself. He began leading group discussions. He encouraged others to speak, even when they stammered or forgot words. He knew the fear. He had lived it, and that made him the perfect guide. Part 11, a life-changing opportunity. One day, the owner of a small coaching institute heard him speak during a group session in the park. "You speak simply," the man said. "People understand you. Would you like to take a demo class?" Ravi panicked. Teach. He had never taught anyone professionally. But then he remembered that day in school, when he couldn't say even one sentence in English. He looked at the man and said, "I'll try." His first class had just 3 students. He prepared all night, wrote every point, every word, every example. And when the moment came, he didn't freeze. He taught like a friend, not a professor. He shared his story, his struggles, and showed them how he learned. At the end of the session, one student clapped, then another, then the third said, "Sir, I never thought I could learn English. Now I think I can." Part 12, giving back, helping others like him. Ravi was now teaching part-time. He still worked as a delivery boy during the day, still studied English every night, still recorded videos from his phone. But now, others were watching. Students from villages messaged him. "I failed English too. People laugh when I speak. I'm scared to talk in front of others." And Ravi replied to every message, not with perfect grammar, but with perfect honesty. He knew he couldn't teach the whole world, but he could teach someone, and that was enough. Part 13, transformation, not fluent, but free. It took him 4 years, thousands of hours, hundreds of humiliations, dozens of self-doubts. But Ravi now spoke English, not like a native speaker, not like a scholar, but like a person who once couldn't speak at all, and now could. "Fluent?" some would ask. Ravi would smile and say, "No, not fluent, but I'm free. Free from fear, free from shame, free from silence." Part 14, final message from Ravi to you. Maybe you're watching this and thinking, "This story sounds like mine." Maybe you failed in English too. Maybe people laughed at you. Maybe you've stood frozen, unable to speak. But if Ravi can change, so can you. You don't need to be rich. You don't need a foreign accent. You don't even need perfect grammar. You just need one thing: the courage to keep going. And if you ever feel alone on that journey, Tail Sync is here. So, years later, Ravi walks into a classroom, this time not as a student, but as a guest speaker. He's invited to a local college to talk about communication skills. He wears a simple shirt, carries a secondhand laptop, and smiles at the crowd of young learners. He tells them his story, the failures, the mockery, the mirror talks, the late-night YouTube videos, the cowsheet speeches, the broken confidence slowly stitched back together with courage. And then he ends with this: you don't need to be born confident. You become confident by walking through fear, one broken sentence at a time. The room claps, but Ravi isn't chasing applause anymore. He's chasing impact. Follow these 10 rules that helped Ravi master English. It will also help you. 1. Speak to yourself every day. No audience needed. Just your voice. 2. Read one page daily. even if you understand only half. 3. Write your thoughts in English, journals, grammar books. 4. Don't fear mistakes. They are proof you're trying. 5. Use the mirror method. Talk to your reflection. It builds confidence. 6. Repeat what you hear on YouTube. Imitation leads to fluency. 7. Join a speaking group, online or offline. Growth is faster with others. 8. Teach someone what you learn. It makes you remember better. 9. Track your progress weekly. Small wins matter. 10. Never stop. Even when you fail, Ravi did. You can too. Always remember this. Fluent English doesn't make you smart, but learning it when no one believed in you, that makes you strong. Your English journey is your courage story, and every word you speak is proof that you refuse to stay silent. If this story inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs hope. Subscribe to Tales Sync for real stories, real lessons, and real growth. Your English journey is not just about speaking a language. It's about finding your voice. And your story is just getting started. Until then, take care of yourself and keep learning. Goodbye.